My narcissistic sister is infertile and wants me to bear her child. I am 28 and I have an older sister, Angela. She is 30, whom I never loved. She always competed with me, but not within the framework of ordinary sisterly rivalry. All our life, she seemed to hate the very fact of my existence, since attention could not forever be focused solely on her, so she needed to ruin everything that brought me joy. Suppose if I started learning to play piano, she also took up piano. If I excelled in some subject, suddenly she became a genius in it. As soon as I confessed to Mom that I fell in love with someone, a week later that guy was already dating Angela. I constantly complained to parents when she did that, but I was ignored. Sisters copy each other, and I cannot monopolize what she likes. She always tracked what I did and what I wore to then surpass me. If I arrived in a plaid shirt, then the next day, Angela showed up at school in a plaid dress. This was 2010, and in our school, it was considered the peak of fashion. Praised always her too, even if I was the first to start something. Her glorified simply because she was better. Parents skipped work to attend absolutely every, her dance performance. World seemed to freeze if they could not go there. And my concerts, came only twice, because were work days, or they were busy with something. Angela reveled in this. She constantly whispered nastiness in my direction in parents' presence. When they were not nearby, she directly said that hates me, and to stop trying, since I, anyway, always will be in second place. At school, Angela purposely tripped me, threw things at me, and almost daily beat me in hallways. School intervened several times. Her threatened with suspension, but parents always defended her. They constantly told administration that this is family disputes and an ordinary quarrel between sisters. Parents never once punished her. I often myself got into trouble because Angela started sobbing, claiming that I supposedly bully her. In one such case, she purposely left herself bruises to prove to father that I beat her. Due to vicious rumors, which spread about me, Angela, I became an outcast. I had difficulty making friends, therefore befriended only guys from other districts. Soon she achieved that I have absolutely nobody left. She tracked them down, befriended them, lied to them that parents supposedly spoil me and that I, her, constantly humiliate. She even stole my boyfriends that way, convinced them that I am terrible, evil, and simply imitate her in everything. Once she, for 4 months, pretended to be another person on MySpace to lure an intimate photo from me, which then sent to parents, everyone at school, and even teachers. And later, to one of the guys who liked me, said that she in the photo, while I supposedly her deceived and pretended to be her. On my school graduation day, Mom sat me down and announced that Angela told her about terrible violence, which she supposedly experienced from my side, and that I am no longer welcome in their house. The next day I moved out, and after that, parents almost never tried to maintain contact with me, except rarely wrote holiday and birthday greetings. All financial support also ceased at that moment, as soon as I entered college. Soon after that, I met my future husband, and we married less than a year later. Parents even did not want to come to the wedding. They even not congratulated me. When 8 years ago we had our first child, I informed parents hoping for reconciliation, but they did not make a single attempt to contact or meet any of my 3 children. As far as I know, Angela is now married to one of the guys whom she stole from me in school and actively writes on social media about her pregnancy and that she cannot give parents their first grandchild. After many years of silence, today at 8 in the morning, I received a message from Mom. I quote it verbatim. "Hi, author, this is your mom. We haven't talked in a long time and I miss you very much. Wanted to say that your sister lost the baby this week. Angie and Justin are having a very hard time right now. Send her something cute, she would definitely like it. Write me, I love you. It is unpleasant for me to admit this, but I am glad that she is suffering. Glad that she is not destined to become a mother. If she tormented me for years, what would she do to a child, especially to a girl? It infuriates me that parents expect from me any sympathy for her. They always believed her, and me rejected. I always was the problematic one, and strangely, Mom suddenly can be so kind when asks me to do something for sister. Them, it seems, care more about my sister's miscarriage than about my living children. Their grandchildren, who still do not understand why they have only one set of grandparents. I am a little ashamed of this, but I am not going to express condolences to my destructive narcissistic sister, who is justified since birth. Perhaps this event will change her, help develop at least some empathy or feeling, different from hatred and vengefulness. If so happens, I will be ready to support her. Well, until then I feel only weak, but sincere satisfaction from the fact that she is hurting. This makes me a terrible person. Update 3 days later. Want from the bottom of my heart to thank all of you for comments and personal messages. I am very touched. For the first time, my story about childhood is perceived with warmth, support, and trust. It was difficult for me to share this, since many think that I make everything up or exaggerate. I understand. It sounds incredible. Therefore, truly, huge thank you from the bottom of my heart. I decided not to answer Mom, blocked both parents, and thought that this ends everything. But has it ever been like that? On Wednesday morning, my messenger was flooded with messages from my parents' brothers and sisters. Most of them wrote that I must answer Mom and that I am callous and heartless. I blocked them too. My cousin learned about this from her younger sister, who is forced to attend family dinners with parents and Angela. Mom and her brothers and sisters live a couple of blocks from each other and almost every evening have dinner together. Not sure if it's possible to post a screenshot, therefore I will just retype the messages. Aunt Kathy is my mom. Hope it will be clearer. Angela constantly calls you ungrateful abuser because you do not want to talk to Aunt Kathy. Aunt Kathy said that we need to start inviting you to various family events so that over time you agree to become a surrogate mother. Then something very strange started because Angela said that wants to use your husband's sperm so that the child is tall and with blue eyes. Then Aunt Kathy said that they need to simply endure for a year, and then again it will be possible to cut you off from the family. Angela kept saying that you are the only way to have a child because she does not want to raise someone else's garbage child. When I read this message, I almost vomited. Do they really think that my womb is some kind of incubator that can be rented for kind words and a casserole? Although, it's good at least that Angela is too narcissistic to think about adoption. I am finally and irrevocably severing all ties with them. If any one of them tries to approach me, I will immediately file for a restraining order so that they do not even come close to my doorstep. After this entire pathetic conspiracy attempt, in which they wanted to use me like some clearance sale incubator, and all the shit which they continue to say about me, I no longer consider them my family. My family is only the one I created myself. Sorry if this is difficult to read, but you were waiting for an update, so here it is. At least some benefit from this. Anyway, thank you again. And now, the second story. I am studying in medical university, and my fiancé threw a tantrum seeing in my anatomy textbook a picture of a vagina. I do not know what to do. A little backstory. I am 22. My fiancée Annie, she is also 22. We know each other from childhood. We started dating in high school and have been together for 6 years. After school, we both enrolled in our local university, and in the third year of bachelor's degree, I proposed to her. I always dreamed of becoming a doctor, actually, did she. When the application process started, I applied to different medical schools. Initially, I planned to continue studying in our state university, to not get into big debt. In the end, I really got in there, to the med school, but unexpectedly received an invitation from one of the best medical schools in the country. It is in the top 3. But the problem is that it is located at the other end of the country, on the opposite coast of the USA. I probably would have declined this opportunity, if not for receiving a partial, but still significant scholarship. Studying there would still be more expensive than at the home university, but not by much, maybe by a couple of $1,000s. Annie, however, despite my persuasion, as well as persuasion from parents, professors, advisors, and others, applied only to our state university and to several insanely elite schools, all from the top 10, to which, honestly, she had not a single chance of getting into, considering her average grades and modest research experience. She received rejections from all schools, including our university. This, understandably, hit her hard, and I am trying my best to support her and help her not lose hope. Now, the situation is this. I am studying at that very medical school at the other end of the country, and Annie decided to take an academic leave to improve her resume, to work on research projects, shadow practicing, doctors, and so on. Currently, she lives with me. Jobs in her major political science, which would allow her to combine it with scientific activity, were not found neither here nor at home. Therefore, she is temporarily working part-time in retail. I try to support her as much as I can. I understand that for her, this is a difficult period. I never said to her, "I told you so," or anything like that. Here's what happened on Friday evening. I was home and preparing for an exam which was supposed to be on Monday, when Annie returned from work. She approached me, kissed me. I asked how her day went. She did not answer anything, and then suddenly frowned. After a couple of seconds, she said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" and poked at the image of a vagina in my textbook. I was stunned. Having recovered a little from the shock, I answered that I am studying. to which she answered something like, "You know perfectly well what I mean. What the fuck are you staring at pictures of vaginas for?" This was very strange, because she knows that I sometimes watch porn, and she never had a problem with that. Moreover, I know that she sometimes watches too. I tried to explain that I have to study anatomy. After all, I am studying in medical school, but this did not satisfy her. She grabbed the textbook and ran to the bedroom, slamming the door. I heard her crying and continued to apologize. A few minutes later, she opened the door, threw the engagement ring at me, and slammed the door again, continuing to sob. I spent the rest of the night on the sofa. The next morning, she was not home anymore. I checked the phone. A message arrived from her that she is staying at a friend's place and that she has had enough. If I do not quit medical school and find another job, because verbatim, she does not want me looking at vaginas like some fucking pervert. This is not at all like her. She always was level-headed and reasonable. She has no mental disorders or anything like that. I am not a fool, and I understand that the issue here is not at all about an anatomical picture of a vagina, but I have no idea what to do. She stopped answering messages and does not pick up the phone. I talked to that friend where she is staying. She called me an asshole and said that Annie is crying and getting drunk and that both of them do not want me to come there. Annie's parents are long gone and close relatives are almost none. I do not understand at all what to do now. I love her more than anything in the world, but there is absolutely no chance that I will give up my dream for her. I would rather break up than comply with such insane demands. But I am very worried about her mental state and ask for your advice. Well, before we continue, I suggest right now to write in the comments your opinion on this story. I think that the author here is absolutely right and Annie is acting absolutely unreasonably. It seems that she is simply angry at the author because she herself did not get into a cool university and the author did. Well, that means she considers herself unequal to him and this infuriates her. Perhaps she imagines something for herself that the author humiliates her. Well, you know, when you have some obsessive thought and you constantly fantasize that yes, that's exactly how it is, there was such a clue. Such a clue. Or is it only me who gets obsessive thoughts? Anyway, moving to the update. Update. I will say immediately, Annie did not cheat on me and is not pregnant. Yesterday, I decided that enough is enough. I went to her with a firm intention to break up. When I arrived, she was half drunk. Then there was a lot of yelling and swearing at me. Then I learned why she wanted me to quit school. The issue was not at all about vagina pictures from the textbook. In the second year, 2 of my friends dropped out of uni to start their own startup in IT and invited me to join. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer science. I refused as I wanted to focus on my dream to become a doctor. Fortunately, their startup took off, and last year they sold it to a big tech company for a very decent sum. I was sincerely happy for them. After the deal, as you can guess, their lives changed. One proposed to his girlfriend with some giant ring. They are constantly vacationing on islands with families. Apparently, from all this, my girlfriend started a wild envy, and she arranged this circus with the vagina to force me to quit med school. Because, according to her words, I can easily get a job in a bank and earn $150,000 a year, so that we do not live like paupers. And I am a total idiot for not having done this yet. But I still was unclear. I asked about our shared dream, to become doctors. It turned out she never wanted to go into medicine and only said it because I only talked about it. Well, this explains a lot, including how she applied. I immediately broke up with her and told her not to contact me anymore. For now, she will stay at the friend's place and we will figure out how to move apart. Well, if you wrote a comment on this story, it's interesting. Were you right or not? I, as you can see, was partially right. Right in the sense that the girl indeed wanted him to quit med school, but wrong in the sense that his friends got rich. Yes, the true cause is much more plausible and logical. Moving to the next story, the third one. My girlfriend confessed to me that she went on a first date with me out of pity because she knew about my insane crush on her. I am 28 years old and my girlfriend is 31. We have been together for 3 years. I was in love with her since school. We studied in the same school and she was a year older. My crush was so obvious that literally everyone knew. If I was somewhere near her, people immediately threw meaningful glances at us. And if we ended up near each other, my friends started mercilessly trolling me. In short, it was impossible to hide. But I never had the courage to ask her out on a date. After school, we went to study in different countries and weren't even Facebook friends. Approximately 3.5 years ago, I ended up at a friend's birthday and saw her again. It was definitely her, only now even prettier. The birthday guy was our mutual school acquaintance and, of course, knew about my crush. There were another 2 or 3 mutual friends there who also knew, and they actively pushed me to approach and talk to her. In the end, trembling with fear, I approached. She, of course, recognized me. We chatted nicely and exchanged numbers and social media. With caution, I started trying to find out if she was free. To my huge relief, there was not a hint of other men in her feed, and I cheered up. Wrote to her with a proposal to meet, being almost sure I would get a refusal, but she agreed to my great surprise. We met, and it turned out we have a lot in common. Agreed to meet again. That's how it all started, and soon we became a couple. She turned out to be even better than I imagined, and she is also very happy in our relationship. We even started talking about marriage. Last weekend, we had a dinner at our place for her best friend and her husband. This friend is also my longtime good acquaintance from school. After dinner, we sat and chatted. And except for me, everyone was quite drunk, as the guests were staying overnight with us. We were chatting, and then her drunk best friend suddenly turned to my girlfriend and said, "Look how happy you are today. I'm even proud looking at you two." I smiled and said, "Well, thanks." And then she continued talking to my girlfriend. "You didn't even want to give this guy a chance, and agreed only after I nagged you to go on at least one pity date with him. Your plan was to simply politely reject him after that meeting, and now here you are sitting discussing a future together. I am so pleased that I nagged you to give him a chance. Imagine if you hadn't changed your mind and rejected him." Her husband by this point realized everything had gotten too awkward and took her to sleep. I immediately noticed by my girlfriend's face that she tensed up. We also went to sleep. When she entered the room, after changing, she was already crying. She took me by the hand and said, "Please don't pay attention to her words." I asked, "Is it true?" And she confessed, "Yes." She always knew that I was crazy about her, and when I invited her on a date, she didn't want to be harsh, just outright rejecting me. Therefore, she discussed it with her friend, who was her roommate at the time. The friend knew me and tried to convince her to give me a chance, but my girlfriend still wasn't sure. In the end, the friend suggested going on 2 or 3 dates with me and then gently rejecting me, and the girlfriend agreed. But then she realized there was a real connection between us, wanted to keep dating, and here we are 3 years together. I hugged her and said everything is fine, don't worry, it's in the past. Well, as you understand me, it still stings. I think she understood because since that day, she has been especially attentive and affectionate. So on one hand, I am that guy who is really going to propose and marry the girl of his dreams. And even better, because our relationship is exactly as I imagined it, only 10 times better. On the other hand, yes, it's a little hurtful to realize that initially she agreed to date me only out of pity. Help me not to ruin everything and not destroy such a wonderful relationship. Thank you. I'll voice my opinion a bit on this situation. To me, it's obvious that the friend wanted to elevate herself, show how awesome she is, show them that it was she who introduced them and that they owe her gratitude. And besides that, not without, of course, humiliating the author a bit. In short, on both counts, to feel her superiority, her significance, well, what to do about the relationship? Nothing. Live as before. I understand that it would be unpleasant for me too to learn something like that, but nevertheless, that's life. Everyone takes what they can. And if the author is talented at taking his partner's pity, why not? It's a completely normal skill that can be monetized. People standing with an outstretched hand, complaining about their life, but who actually don't have it so bad, will confirm. Write your opinion in the comments. Agree with me, disagree, and we'll find out what happened next. Update 2 days later. I think it's worth telling what happened after I wrote the post. In the morning, the best friend apologized for her tactless words the night before. Said she overdid it with alcohol and just wanted to take credit for matchmaking, to feel like a matchmaker. But drunk, she blurted out too much. I answered that she has nothing to apologize for. On the contrary, I should thank her for the fact that my girlfriend and I even went on that first date. After the friend left, I talked to the girlfriend and shared my feelings. I asked her why she doubted whether to date me back then. She took my hands and said it was simply awkward. She had known for years that I had a crush on her, plus I was younger. Friends from her hometown sometimes teased her, mentioning my name, and almost all our mutual acquaintances knew how I pined for her. So when I asked her out, it was awkward. First, I liked her clearly more strongly than she liked me, even before the first meeting. And second, I put her on a pedestal, and she was sure reality couldn't match my idealization and didn't want to go through that. Also, she thought I was kind of weird. Yes, she admitted it, LOL. But after her friend vouched for me, she agreed to meet and then carefully reject me after 2 or 3 dates. I asked then what changed after the first date. And she said, "But there were no weird vibes from you. Yes, you were very happy and nervous, but you weren't creepy. Just a guy with a crush with whom I had insane chemistry already on the first date. And now after 3 years, I think I'm in love with you even more than you ever were with me." After this conversation, we went to dinner at the same restaurant where we had our first date, and even tried to order the same dishes, but alas, one of them had been removed from the menu. Then we decided to take something completely new that neither of us had tried before. That's how it is, guys. Thank you for reminding me what a lucky guy I am. P.S. In the first week of December, we are going ring shopping. That's all. Thank you for listening to all the stories until the end. Be sure to watch our previous videos, which you will see right here. Also, subscribe to our channel and good luck.